Peace to y'all. Young man, young man, young man. Let me tell you something. This is the way the hood works, right? This is the way the hood works. When you're in the hood, if you are a shooter, you lit. If you are a person sipping on that lean, you got a lot of homies, you moving that dope, right? You got a lot of women, or a lot of bitches, as y'all say, right? You got the flyest belt, the flyest Louis belt and Gucci belt you could find, the tightest pants you could find, you know, and you lit, okay? You got some Versace, some Gucci, you lit. You are the man. If you're disrespectful, you're abusive, the wilder you act, essentially the more of a nigger, Nigger, not Nigga, the more of a nigger, because a nigger is created. The nigger even is created in America. You don't hear people in Africa talking about niggas. You don't hear people in England talking about niggas. Only in America. So niggas are created and manufactured in America. But be a black man, a young man. Start talking about I'm into science. Start talking about I'm into mathematics. Start talking about I'm into spirituality. Start talking about I'm into meditation. Start talking about I'm into business and vertical growth and integration. Start talking about Bitcoin and investing in Ethereum. Start talking about these things as a young man in the hood, and guess what they're going to call you? They're going to call you a weirdo. So, young man, my message to you tonight is be weird. Be that weirdo. Because as you see, a big weirdos are running the world right now, okay? You talk about the Roni, who's behind the Roni? Okay, two weirdos. These two presidents that were just battling, so-called presidents, weirdos. Okay, weirdos are running the world. You see, young man, in the times before 2020, because we're moving into a new age, the age of Aquarius, in the time before 2020, this opportunity, the opportunity that you guys have, millennials, to go on the internet, look up information, be knowledgeable, be sharp, right? Be on top of your game and escape poverty. You guys have the opportunity that no one before you has had. No one before you has had. But if you let these rappers condition you, you let media condition you, they are going to tell you and influence you to be a nigga. That's all it is. And they're going to push you away from being weird and being eccentric and being unique. But be weird, because you're your ancestors' greatest dream. We all are our ancestors' greatest dream if we realize that dream and we go towards that dream, right? But the powers that be play games with us. They manipulate us through emotion, right? Using music as a vehicle to conduct emotion, using repetition through hearing the same lyrics over and over and over. Now, don't get me wrong. I love hip hop. To my heart, to my soul, I love hip hop, right? But I can't deny the influence, especially with social media and all these blogs and all these reporters. It doesn't pay to be a nigga. It doesn't pay to be a thug. You better off hustling on the internet than hustling in the streets. You're better off. It's safer. You got all these rappers getting shot in the leg and getting killed. Now they got FBI after Casanova. These guys made it out of the hood. They made it out of poverty. But the nigga mentality is still ingrained in them, even in the midst of success. And this is not even the men at this point. This is the men and the women. Look at the fights that are happening in these establishments. Look at this situation that happened with the owner. And I don't agree with him. I don't agree with the way he handled it, right? But there's conflicting stories. But anyway, but look at these situations and even the fights in restaurants and establishments, right? The nigga mentality is pushed. It's pushed into your reality shows. It's pushed in your social media. It is made to be acceptable. It is made to be common. People have badges of honor from talking about the struggle that they come from. And while there is honor in rising from the bottom, right? The goal is never to be at the bottom in the first place. Your parents should never have had you at the bottom. But the situation prior to 2020, prior to the internet, was a whole lot different. Access to information was a whole lot different. Way different than it is now. You see the big divider between the wealthy, between the influential. Well, I don't even want to say the influential because you could be a fool nowadays to be influential. You could take a shit and slap it in your face and you're going to get 1 million views, right? So you could be influential doing anything nowadays. But to really influence others to grow and expand, like the universe is constantly in life, is constantly growing and expanding. So you're moving in a flow state with life, with the universe itself, if you're growing and expanding, right? But society and the neighborhoods that we come from want you to stay a nigga because that's the cool. The rapper wants you to stay a nigga because that's the cool. I mean, even Future, what did he say? He said he don't even sip lean. But he got a whole album with Uzi that he dropped on a full moon with Lil Uzi talking about lean and popping pills. And he said he don't even do none of that. But he wants your kids to. He wants you to. And who owns these pills and this lean? Where's it coming from? It's coming directly from the government. It's not even hand to hand like crack no more. Crack, you got to cook that in the kitchen. Now the scientist is cooking it in the kitchen. You know, the scientist is cooking the dope in the kitchen now. So you ain't even going to win that game. So be comfortable being a weirdo as a young person. Be comfortable being a weirdo. You guys are the future. You guys are the next. You know what I'm saying? And you guys have all the opportunity in the world and all the education in the world at your fingertips. Please don't waste it. Please don't waste the ability to have a phone in your hand or a laptop and look up anything that you want and still be ignorant. I was doing a live video yesterday, right? Somebody told me that they saw the same number for over a week and was asking me about it. My reaction is, why you didn't go Google the number yourself, right? Why you didn't go Google what the number was? Back in 1995, 1996, my G, when I was going through high school, you didn't have the ability to do that. You want to know how condensation works? You wanted to understand how water gets filtered? You wanted to understand anything. You had to go to a library or you had to buy a book. It was much harder. But now if I see 333, less than 5 seconds, I could find out through numerology what that number means. And that's just an example of one thing. But y'all really don't know how good that you have it, young man. Really. You have the opportunity to create new futures for your family. This is what men are bred to do. Hunters, gatherers, creators, and builders. Women are nurturers. By nature, that's why they have wombs and that's why they have breasts that give milk to suckle children. Okay? But men are supposed to be the ones that go out and get it. And this is not to say women can't go out and get it because they obviously are. But black men, we're being programmed and we're being miseducated and misled. Look at what's happening to all these rappers. And why is the universe trying to send? There's no such thing as coincidence, only confirmation. So the universe is trying to send y'all a message, young man. Okay, even with this new situation with Casanova, with the FBI looking for him, I hope, you know what I'm saying, it's nothing big. I hope it's just a misunderstanding. I don't want to see none of us get locked up. You understand? But we got to start stepping up. And we got to break